Ladies and gentlemen, Miguel. And now we've got Jacob. Thank you.
Yo, I'm from New York, and I got a buddy named Steve. We cross the Brooklyn Bridge every day to get a panini. We cross the Brooklyn Bridge every day because we lived in New York. New York is where I'm from. And every day, I would cross Brooklyn Bridge into Manhattan for a panini. Now, I live in Manhattan and I go to work in New York. And every day, I'd ride the subway with my friend Steve. I say, Steve, what do you want to do today? He said, well, I want to get a panini. Now I live in Austin, Texas. I love the city. It's a great city. If you go downtown, they have a mental facility. Across the street from it, they have a Little Caesars. I'm going to go in and get everybody crazy bread. The weather's been pretty insane, right? You know, like, it'll get hot, and it'll get cold, and it'll rain. Maybe you want to watch the movie The Day After Tomorrow. So, I pop in the movie, start watching The Day After Tomorrow. If you haven't seen it, it's about global warming, and they try their best job about making it entertaining. I was watching it, and I'd fall asleep. So then I'd continue the next day, and I'd watch it, fall asleep. The next day, I finished it. But as I'm watching this movie, I'm thinking to myself, you know, I might just finish it the day after tomorrow. Mail. What's the deal with mail? You know, a few centuries ago, it used to be a big deal if you got mail. Because it would take a couple weeks to get to you. You would be, if you got mail in the 1800s, you'd be like, yes, I got mail. The greatest feeling I could give to you to relate to that is when you're a kid and you lived with your parents. And you got mail maybe 4 times a year. But when you got mail, you're like, I got mail. My parents got mail, but I got mail too. Now we're all adults. We get mail, it's a bill. Just the importance of mail has gone down. You know, males, a few decades ago, they could hit a woman. No problem with that. Now, you can't do that. The women have more authority than they did have. Take my dad, for example. He makes all the money for the family. He goes to work. He does the chores. But my mom has got him by the balls. She says, you're going to do some cooking tonight. And he says, yes. Mail is not as significant as it was. Voicemail. Voicemail is a pretty big deal. If you leave a personalized message back in the day, you could tell the person whatever you wanted, and you would think, all right, they're going to call me back. Now, I've realized I'm put in the dating world, and I'll call somebody, a girl, give me Cindy, for example, and you don't get a response as you're talking, you know, like the voicemail will come up and Cindy will say, you know, thanks for reaching Cindy, leave your name and your number, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can at the end of the beep. And that beep is like a guillotine. Because once it comes, you have to say something. So while that message is going on, I'm thinking to myself, I want to leave a message, but do I leave a message? If I call her, she'll see I called, and that should be enough. But I want to see how she's doing. Beep. Hey, it's Jacob. Just calling to say what's up. See how you're doing. I wanted to take you out to dinner and go to a petting zoo so we could pet animals. I don't think I need to leave you my number because it'll be a missed call, so... But if that's a problem, it's 949-300-5200, you know, I'll just talk to you later. And when you leave a message, you kind of have, you just have your own voice. So what you go off of is what you got. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, a petting zoo. That's a pretty cute idea. She'll like it. You know, at least give me a maybe, you know. But Cindy is on the other line. She's listening to this message, and she's like, Jake called me? I barely know this guy. And he wants to go to dinner? And then a petting zoo? What a weirdo. Does he want to go to a petting zoo after dinner? That just doesn't sound right. I'm not going to call this guy back. I won't even tell him I listened to that message. Mail isn't as significant as it was. Email. When the internet boom came and you got mail, you were like, I got mail. Yes, I got mail. And now, businesses, they kind of have control. They have your contact email on full, like in their drawer. So businesses send out emails. And they send out so many messages with things to, hey, you should connect with us, and we're just making sure you're keeping up with us, and, you know, just get back to us. What they call it spam. Before the internet boom, that used to just be canned food. So I have a sports car. No, you know, I'm going to go over this one real quick. You know, so poor people that are hungry, they have the supplies. I think their intentions are in the right place to send letters. They sign up for it, and they do the best job they can. But they're not sending out very many mail messages. I think it's because they use food stamps. So I own this sports car.
What is it?
And it's a pretty cool car. I tell my friends, I say, hey, check out my sports car. They come looking out. They're like, Jake, it's not a sports car. I say, what are you talking about? They say it's not a sports car. I say, well, you know what? It's a sports car. They say, why is it a sports car? I say, well, because I got basketballs in the front, I got soccer balls in the middle, and I got cricket in the trunk. It's made for sports. They say, well, that doesn't make it a sports car. I tell them, what are you talking about? It was made for sports. All it does is carry sports equipment. That gives it more attributes. Hey, I'm talking. And so my buddy was like, well, how fast does your car go? I said, well, it goes as fast as Davy Jones is pitching. They say, whoa, hey, why you gotta use sports to reference it? Because it's a sports car. I give it the attributes that it has by using sports. I say, all right. Well, how many gallons of gas does it hold? About Olympic-sized pool's worth. Wow, sounds like a gas guzzler to me. No, it's a sports car. So I got this story that happened to me the other day. I work at a bingo hall, and I have to deal with a lot of people. My job is to sell these lottery tickets, and they sell them for $1. They're called pull tabs, and I go up to people and say, hey, you should buy this. It's for $5.99. You can win $599. And I was doing this on Mother's Day. So all the kids were hanging out with their moms, and in the certain area I was in, there was a lot of black people. Alexis. Take it easy. You're not. If you're sorry, you'll go outside and take your conversation out there. So I'm in the middle of a good story and you're ruining it. So I'm surrounded by all these black people. And this little black girl looks up at me and she goes, "I know Spanish." I say, "All right." And she goes, "I know how to say black." And I'm totally going with it because I think that's awesome. So I'm like, "Well, what is it?" And she goes, "Negro." And me, not really thinking about the situation at first, I'm like, "Oh, no. I don't want black people to think I want her to say Negro," so I was quick to react. I was like, "Well, what's brown in Spanish?" She goes, "Café." So, all right. Now they get I want to know her colors, so I'm just going with it. "Well, how do you say red?" She goes, "Rojo." All right. I compliment her. I say, "You're pretty smart." And so I was sort of walking away, and I look at her. I say, "Hey, do you know how to say chicken in Spanish?" She goes, "No." I'm like, "You idiot! It's pollo." My old boss, he got in trouble for being an arsonist. So we were playing pool. I said, "If I beat you, are you going to fire me?"
Oh, guys.
So, growing up, my mom would tell me to eat all the food on my plate. There's kids in Africa that are starving. I don't even know those kids, but I would eat the food on my plate. My heart went out for them. So to this day, I still eat all the food on my plate. When I got hungry, I would tell my mom I'm hungry. She would say, "Well, if you're hungry, you'll eat an apple." An apple a day keeps the doctor away. My dad is a doctor. So I was like, "No, I'll go hungry. Don't get a divorce." My mom, I would tell my mom, "Well, can I eat a pear?" "No, a pear will make your asshole tear." "No, I don't want my asshole to tear. I like my asshole." "What about an orange?" "An orange will make a door hinge fall on you." "No, I don't want to be fallen on by a door hinge." So I grew up hungry all the time. And I had a vitamin C deficiency. But that still didn't matter. My parents ended up getting a divorce. I guess the doctor wasn't around enough for Mom. I got 2 Christmases out of it. That's a fucked up way of looking at it.
Yeah.
So you all know of the guy named Walt. He came up with a company named Disney. It's a crazy story how he came up with it. He was outside, drawing Mickey Mouse, and this freak construction accident happened. An anvil was cut loose and was falling down, landed on his knee, and flattened it like a Looney Tune. He was bedridden for months. So his buddy Steve came over with a couple paninis and said, "Hey, how's the knee going?" how's the Mickey Mouse going? He goes, it's good. I'm going to create a company centered around it. Oh yeah? What are you going to call it? Disney. I was able to work out the kinks thanks to Disney. My name is Jacob Perkins. I appreciate everybody watching. That was fun stuff. For the people that came on before.